3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Happy Memorial Day. For those of you who have served or know people that have served, thank you. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And for those of you who are serving, please stay safe and God bless. With that said, I wish I had a review of a better movie for you because I am talking about The Lovebirds, which is the new, what was supposed to come to theaters, but of course, Corona happened to throw everything into, insanity. This was directed by Michael Showalter, who I'm going to get to why I am bummed. He went ahead and was a writer on Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later, which is hilarious. He also wrote a couple episodes of Children's Hospital and wrote a movie I own that I'm actually a big fan of, Hello, My Name is Doris, which stars Sally Field, which is, kind of more of a dramedy, a coming-of-age movie, but, with a woman who's, in her 50s. So I don't talk about it too much on the podcast. I've caught episodes here and there. I'm not an avid watcher of it, but I'm a fan of Issa Rae. She, of course, we know her from Insecure. That's the big movie that she, or the big show that she's associated with. And it just got renewed for, I believe it's 4th season. So, I mean, Issa Rae, she's doing great. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Kumail Nanjiani, who, of course, you know from Silicon Valley, The Big Sick. He went ahead and he's going to be in a Marvel movie because the things were making the rounds. He's going to be in Eternals, and he got ripped for that. So I mean, kudos to him. I mean, you see the pictures, and he went ahead and he was actually in one of my favorites. It's not my favorite episode of the Twilight Zone reboot that they did here with Jordan Peele. He was excellent in the Comedian, I think is the name of the episode. So when I heard they were putting these two together, I went, oh, okay, like these are two very talented comedians. I'm excited to see what they can go ahead and do together. And I gotta be honest, guys, this is, I'm very happy this got released to Netflix, and this was not one of those digital, like, you have to pay $19.99 to rent it, because if I had paid $20 to rent this, I would have been mad as hell, because this was not worth paying full price for, but we'll get into that. So they play, Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani, they play Leilani and Gibran, like a brother's name, but Leilani and Gibran, respectively. And they've been together for a while. The movie starts off with them having this very cute moment where they're just so infatuated with each other, so in love. And it fast forwards to 4 years later, and they are just at that point in the relationship where they are over the other person. They don't even want to see the other person. They're taking jabs at each other, but not in that fun way, but in that way where oh man, we are very close to this shit just being over and ending. And here's the thing. This movie really wants to have a feel like that movie Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey, or a more recent example. This movie wants to be Game Night, which is a movie with Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. And both of those movies are way funnier than what we got here. And I gotta be honest, I'm really disappointed because we think about The Big Sick. Kumail Nanjiani, he was a writer on that too. And I understand it's based on, his real life. So I understand it obviously hits closer for him. But this movie, for it being a romantic, I'll say romantic comedy, it's not really a dramedy, but for it having the romantic elements and for these two being such seasoned comedian for Issa Rae, for the talent involved here, they just had nothing to work with. really at all. There's a scene early on where they're having this conversation about Leilani getting dressed, and they're going to one of her friends, like one of her friends' parties, and she asks him, what do you think of this dress? And he goes, oh, like, it's cute. She immediately retorts with, like, oh, what am I, like, am I getting dressed to a Chuck E. Cheese? And he retorts back, oh, but it's like fuck E. Cheese. And I remember I was like, wait, but that, what? Like, it was supposed to be a joke, but it didn't come across like a good joke. And I know how funny this guy is. And probably my favorite whole laugh that I got is that I guess I should get into the very thin plot here. So basically, their relationship is ending. They actually break up at the beginning of the movie on the way to this party. And on the way to this party, they get their car jacked by a guy who's claiming to be a cop. And by the way, he just goes, oh, I'm a police officer. They at no point ask for him to show his badge or anything. They just move over and let him commandeer their car. So he commandeers their car, hits this guy on a bicycle, and not only hits him, but runs over him like 4 or 5 times, leaves the car there, is about to shoot them. But then a police siren happens to go off, so he goes, oh shit, I need to run. So he runs away, and then they're just sitting there with this dead body behind them, and this hipster couple finds them and goes, oh my god, you killed that guy. And so they go to run, and it's really stupid, because first off, I want to say it's Gibran first. He goes, Leilani, let's go. Why would you yell the name of your partner when you have people that close in the proximity that could go ahead and report it to the cops? Because the hipster girl is on the phone with the police as they're starting to run away. It doesn't make any sense at all. And they have the scene later on where they're in a diner, and the cops call. So let's just be honest here. Big Brother's everywhere. We have cameras everywhere, especially when it comes to streetlights. And later on in the movie, and I will give the film credit on this, the cops do end up eventually catching up to them, and they go, "Yeah, we know you didn't do this. Like there are cameras all over the place." And I understand you would be scared, but they even like call her and ask, like, what the hell, like what happened? Your car is out here. Have you lost your car? And she goes, oh my god, my car's not outside. It's really bad the way they're trying to lie to the cops, because any cop who has been on the beat for 6 months, like the way I said on the beat, that's cop lingo there, but the fact is, any cop would go, okay, you're full of shit. I will give them credit, they at least throw her phone away. But then they have this whole subplot where he keeps his phone. It's a really weird movie, and it really felt like this was not a movie that was intended to be fleshed out. And what I mean by that is that this felt very much like they had a skeleton for a movie, and that they could get these two people to play up to sign up for it. They gave them executive producer credits on this. Issa and Kumail, they went ahead and executive produced this, so they clearly wanted to work together, which is cool. But at the same time, you're just sitting there watching them, and for a romantic comedy, there needs to be chemistry, and I just did not feel like there was chemistry between the two of them. And I think a big part of that is that we don't get a lot about them, or a lot of them being close. The movie opens up with them being close and having their, being at the peak of their romance. But as things get more dire, you don't feel the affection between them. You don't feel like they are really leaning on each other. It really feels like they're leaning on each other because the script requires it, not because they're actually evolving back into the best parts of the relationship. And that part in itself is pretty maddening, to be honest. Some of the set pieces, things just occur here, even as thin of a script as Game Night had at points. It at least was able to get you from point A to point B to point C. They're basically trying to go ahead and solve this murder, which really makes no sense. They should have just gone to the fucking cops. I mean, they're acting like they're going to be able to outrun the cops for the rest of their lives. Like, there's never even a point where they go ahead and talk about what the plan is, as far as, like, yes, they want to go and solve this murder, but I mean, what happens after that? Who's to say the cops don't, just go like, you still ran away from from crime scene, which is illegal, by the way. They just ran away from this crime scene. There's this scene where, and they showed it in the trailer, but they go ahead and they threaten them with either what's behind this door, this couple threatens them with what's behind this door, or bacon grease. And I just remember thinking, all right, this is just very weird that they wouldn't just shoot them right now, and that they're giving them the option of getting kicked by a horse, which would not feel awesome, by the way, or going ahead and doing this. It's very weird how that scene kind of plays out. They go to this one liquor store at a point, and she's in like a unicorn onesie, which is so random, and he's in this like the douchiest outfit ever. He's wearing complete with this hat that says "blessed," and I remember just thinking, all right, guys, this is a little much. There is a subplot where this guy Keith, who Lilani is clearly crushing on, he basically gives them clothes. Like they Gibran specifically gets clothes from him when they finally show up to dinner, and it's really weird because of course the clothes fit clothes fit Gibran like perfectly, like a glove. He gets a suit that he's wearing, and this suit looks like it's tailored. Like there's no bagginess, there's no, like, for a comedy I would expect for you to have a little bit of, a little bit of humor, take it where you can get it, but the movie just goes, yep, the suit fits him perfectly. Like it could have been tight. Like he just got into this shape for this Marvel movie. Have the suit be tight, and he's like trying to keep it on. I mean, that could at least be a sight gag, but they weren't even thinking that far ahead. And I know we typically have been trying to stay away. Like we typically go full spoilers here, but I have to spoil this one thing because it is my biggest gripe in the film, and it just made me go ugh when I thought about it. So at the end of the movie, they go ahead and are being escorted by the same guy who went ahead and carjacked them earlier in the movie. Go figure, he actually does work for the police department. So he takes them to this boat where he lays out his plan, classic Bond villain style, like, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to shoot myself, and they're going to think that you try to kill me, which doesn't make any sense when you take just half a step back and go, wait, why would they, like, they know that you're taking them home, why wouldn't they go, maybe you're fucking dirty, like, it's a very flawed plan, but there's this point where they go ahead and they shoot him, and he falls into the water, and this happens, like, at dead of night, like let's just say midnight. When they go ahead and they flash forward to the next scene, it's morning. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. So they shoot him, and they fall into the boat, and they're having this emotional moment, like, oh my god, babe, I can't believe we made it, and and he rises out of the water like fucking Jason out of Friday the 13th movie, and they hit him in the head, and he just falls back in the water. So the implication being, did he hold his breath for 6-7 hours? Because when the cops finally show up, they say, oh yeah, we got him. It's like, okay, where was he? Was he underwater for 6 hours and he's part dolphin? And he's able to hold his breath that long? Like, it didn't make any sense. And the movie just goes, yep, that's all, folks. Like, it's so lazy. And I love this guy's movies, but this came across like that Judd Apatow, like what a lot of people accuse Judd Apatow of, where he just puts the camera up, starts filming, just lets people go and run and improv. And this really did not have the script to warrant the talent that it got attached to it. This is very reminiscent of, what's that movie? The 5-Year Engagement. If you guys remember that film. It's not a good movie, by the way, but it's very reminiscent of that, in just the way that it drags on, and how it really felt like they had a destination, but they did not have enough gags or jokes to even get to the actual destination. It's a lot of meandering till you get to the end. I know some people are just going to say, well, come on, Hunter, it's on Netflix. You didn't have to, quote, pay, unquote, for it. But at the same time, that's such a shitty attitude. If something's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your time. And this, I really felt like was a waste of my time. I did chuckle. There is this whole rant that Gibran goes on about milkshakes and them having extra in the like the silver cup that they give you, and I found that actually really funny. That's probably the hardest laughs I got from the whole movie, but the movie itself just doesn't have enough jokes to warrant it existing. There's this whole Eyes Wide Shut scene that I just went, okay, and they're like not auctioning off, but they're basically drawing numbers, bingo style, for who's going to go ahead and join this orgy. And you would think the obvious joke would be, oh, one of them would go ahead and get picked to go ahead and participate in this orgy. And no, that's the simple gag, and that would have been at least somewhat entertaining, but they don't even do that. It's really weird, and it's just quite frustrating that the shit just it even at about 90 minutes, it still feels too long, and it's a very frustrating movie, because this is a write up or a punch up away, pardon me, from I think being at least a good movie, if not a potentially great one. It's very weird that this is what we got from these two, and I don't really understand how this just kind of fizzled out the way it did. So, yeah, I didn't hate this. Like, I can't get this to go fuck yourself, because like I was never like wanting to, I wouldn't have left the theater or something if this had come out. I mean, this damn sure wouldn't have been the movie to break me, but at the same time, I mean, watch The Big Sick, watch Game Night, watch watch Date Night. I mean, there are funnier things out there that you can watch that are worth your time, and this isn't. And yeah, I'm gonna give this a D plus, because yeah, even watching this on Netflix, I went, yeah, this is still not worth it. And that ending just made me go, okay, movie, this is absurd. But yeah, I'll D plus for me. But if you really want to watch it, cool. But it's a waste of your time. Watch other shit. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender's on Netflix. Watch that. That's excellent. Don't watch this. But guys, the Lovebirds, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought. Go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and iHeartRadio at The Real Pineapple. And you can go ahead and follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. And you can follow my colleague Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. And guys, we will have reviews up this weekend for Defending Jacob, which is airing its finale on Apple TV on Friday. I'm excited. I've been watching, and I've got some thoughts, and I will have my thoughts on Stargirl, which premiered last week. Episode 2 is coming out, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on the first couple episodes. And yeah, so June 1st is my birthday, in case you guys didn't know. So June is going to be my birthday month as far as stuff that I'm going to review. So we'll have reviews up for Avengers, we'll have review OG, Original Avengers, we'll have a review up for Training Day this month, all some other stuff. I'm still figuring out everything I want to review. I think Scott Pilgrim vs. the World would be in there, but yeah, I've got some good stuff coming down the pipeline. But guys, thank you so much for your support. Please stay safe out there. I hope everyone had a long weekend. For those of you who were able to be off today, please stay safe out there. And thanks again. We'll catch you guys soon. Take care.